morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, I think we need to take a little bit of a look at Rotom Phone. We've not had a Rotom Phone card before, but now we do. How lovely. Now our translation comes from the lovely Antoine Boulet, one of our very favourites over here. And what it does, it's a very nice card. It's a very useful item card. And what it allows you to do is look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose one, and put it on top of your deck. Oh, that's actually really nice. It's not perfect, let's be clear. It's not perfect, but it's really nice. It's kind of, well, it's basically a one-sided hiker. So Hiker is a supporter card, came out in Celestial Storm, where you looked at the top 5 cards of either player's deck, you chose one of them to go on top of the deck, and then shuffle the others into the deck. Cool. Now, Hiker has been primarily used as disruption, for slowing down your opponent, for stopping them having what they want, putting a bad card on top. Hiker hasn't really been used for your own cards, but having said that, Hiker's your supporter for the turn. It's not a random item card that you can play. That's a good thing. Incidentally, the other card we've had like this is Chip Chip Ice Axe, but that was 3 rather than 5 and only for your opponent. So the goal here is very simple. You play this for extra consistency. Now, you do have to put it on top of your deck. It doesn't go into your hand, but we got a couple of options to fix this. The lesser option is the Sawsbuck that came out in Cosmic Eclipse. Stage 1 Pokemon lets you draw a card once during your turn. We love Sawsbuck, go Sawsbuck! The better option is the Oranguru that came out in Sword and Shield, already being seen as a one-of in a whole bunch of decks because it's redonk. The ability Primate Wisdom lets you switch a card from your hand with the top card of your deck. So you don't gain a card advantage like you would with Sawsbuck, you don't get any extra cards in hand. You take a card that was in your hand and put it on top of your deck, and you draw a card. Which is good. And obviously here, you use Rotom Phone to find the card you want of the top 5 and put it on top of your deck, and then you use Oranguru to draw it, and then you're good. How lovely. Now remember, this still only works if you've got a card in your hand to put on top of your deck. That's pretty clear. You need to have a card which you're willing to essentially part with. Because it's not draw a card, then put a card on top of it. It is switch. You've got to switch a card in your hand for the top card of your deck. So the point here is that if you want to use Oranguru, you've got to put a card on top of your deck. Now, just as a little side note here, if we're going full consistency, consider Nugget as well. Nugget's the one whereby it only works if you draw it as your card for the turn, not if you draw it using something like a Cynthia. But when you draw it, you get to draw 3 cards. So clearly, if you're playing Oranguru anyway for something like Rotom Phone, this would then essentially go, oh, I've drawn it, but it's not my card for the turn. Oh, well, I'll put it back on top of my deck with Oranguru while drawing a card I just put on top with Rotom Phone. And then at the beginning of my next turn, I'm going to draw 3 cards. And sooner or later, right, you've got to put some Pokemon and energy and supporters and all into your deck. But what this is all doing with cards like Nugget and cards like this is basically opening us up to consistency, which is just better than we've had for a little while. We're just getting more and more consistency tricks. And like with so many of these item cards, we can really look at similar kind of cards to try and decide how useful it's going to be. So let's take Pokegear as an example. If you're looking for supporter cards, Pokegear is infinitely better. Because you look at the top 7 cards of your deck, rather than 5, and you put it straight into your hand, rather than putting it on top of your deck. If you want supporters, Pokegear is better. Similarly, if you want Pokemon, Great Ball is better. Same kind of deal as Pokegear. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck, reveal a Pokemon and put it into your hand. So you're looking at the top 7 cards rather than the top 5, and it's going to your hand rather than going on top of your deck. So for supporters, Pokegear is better. And for Pokemon, Great Ball is better. So what's left? Item cards and energy. Well, if it's supporters you're after, you've got Stadium Nav. Flip 2 coins for each head, search your deck for a stadium, put it in your hand. Might not work. unfortunately. Might flip double tails. You should, right? You should, every 4 times you play the card, once should get you 2 stadiums, once should get you no stadiums, and 2 should get you 1 stadium. But there's no guarantee. And let's face it, we all remember it such that the one time we really need it is the one time it fails. It's probably not actually like that, but that's how we all remember it. So, okay, for items and energy, it might be good. I mean, what we've got at the moment, we've got stuff like Pokénav. And I'll be straight with you, right? Pokénav, not a great card. You look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and you find a Pokemon or energy card and put it into your hand. Okay. It's not amazing. It's only the top 3 cards. That's not ideal. But when it comes to things like special energy, this is where we really get mileage. There's only really one way to get special energy at the moment reliably, and that's Guzma and Hala. Guzma and Hala lets you search your deck for a special energy, as well as a stadium and a tool. Having said that, initially it only gets you a stadium. You only get the energy and tool if you discard another 2 cards from your hand, and it's your supporter for the turn, so let's not go pretending it's some kind of amazing option. It's an option, but I don't think it's an amazing option. Not all of the time. Sometimes it is, not all of the time. And I don't think Rotom Phone is an amazing option all of the time, but I do think it's there. And I do think we can use it. And that's kind of my point here. I mean, we really need to try and build to take advantage of a card like this. So let's say we got something like Green's Exploration. Green's Exploration, great if you've got no Pokemon with abilities in play. You search your deck for up to 2 trainer cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand. Well, one of those trainer cards can be this, and then that can help you get a special energy that you wouldn't be able to get otherwise. Except I'm assuming at this point a bunch of you have spotted the problem. The problem is that you need to be able to actually draw the card, which relies on abilities like Swordsbuckler or Oranguru, which you can't have if you want to play Green's Exploration. What you could do is play Green's Exploration and then play down your Oranguru, but at that point we're getting a little bit awkward. Possible. Awkward. And awkward is one of my prevailing thoughts about this card. Let's be clear, I like the card. I think it's a good card, and I think in a lot of decks it's going to give you that consistency. It's going to give you the options that other cards don't. Because the thing is, let's go back to cards like Pokegear and Great Ball. They are objectively better for what you want. But if you really want a Pokemon and you draw Pokegear, gut it. If you really want a supporter and you draw Great Ball, gut it. This can get you anything. You need to have a way to draw the cards you get. That's very important. And it is not as good at getting specific cards as other cards around. But in terms of a little bit of consistency, yes. And again, if we didn't have right now Oranguru, I might not feel quite so good about this. But we do. The only real question I've got here is how much play is it actually gonna see? And I'm not sure, if I'm honest with you. I really don't know. Because on the one hand, it could become the next great consistency card. It could be that kind of card that goes kind of like Trainer's Mail was back in the day, where it just ended up being played in the majority of decks because, although not perfect, Trainer's Mail let you look at the top 4 cards of your deck, find a trainer card and put it into your hand. This is the top 5 cards, and it's any card, but it's on top of your deck. And look, in a world where Trainer's Mail became a staple in a whole bunch of decks, why couldn't this? Or we could go, you know what, we've actually got better options at the moment and this is too awkward. I really do think this could go either way. I'm giving it 4 Wassies because I'm excited and optimistic by nature and specifically about this particular card. But I am well aware that we may well end up in a situation where this just looks like it could be good and never ends up being good. I don't know. I'd like to know what you think though, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, or you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where you can find out about a whole bunch of games that don't have Pokemon in, but we love them anyway. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves until next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.